Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be presenting on male and female reproductive system. Okay, so today the topic of our interest or understanding is male and female reproductive systems. Before going into the deep into the topic, I would like to make you understand how does a male reproductive system actually looks like. Look at the picture here. This is the bladder, that is the urinary bladder where urine stores. From here we have this small apparatus called as seminal vesicle. We have the prostate gland and the ejaculatory duct on the right side. And then here comes the urethra as labeled here. In the left side we can see vas deferens as marked here along this line. Epididymis is the structure. Testis is the structure where the sperm are produced, and this is the scrotum. This is called as penis, through which you urinate or have intercourse, and this is glans penis and bulbourethral gland. So this is a basic overall human male reproductive system. Let's dive into the topic. So, what is its basic function? First of all, it produces sperm, it secretes testosterone, enables fertilization. Now, testes are the factories of sperm and testosterone, which are essential for fertility and male traits. When I say male trait, that means the growing of beard or the chest hair or the hair in private parts or the formation of muscular area in shoulder and in chest areas, the development of breast. Those kind of traits are male traits. Okay, so what are testes? First of all, they help in sperm production, which is the most important part in fertilization or the birth of a baby. Second, testosterone secretion. Now, testosterone is a male hormone which helps in hair growth and functions many important male feature. It also stores sperm and transports sperm to urethra for ejaculation or further intercourse. So what is epididymis and vas deferens? Remember I made you saw the diagram. So epididymis stores sperms and they also transport sperm to urethra. Epididymis is the place where actually the sperm matures. So the sperm is born in the testis, like made in the testis, and it matures in epididymis. Vas deferens is the highway carrying sperm towards ejaculation. That is the path through which it goes towards ejaculation. What are the accessory glands? So we have some accessory glands also. Seminal vesicles add nutrients and prostate adds protective fluid. Bulbourethral gland lubricate. Now during intercourse, both or during coitus, female and male or any gender coitus, lubes play a very important role. So it secretes from the female also, and in male, prostate helps in adding the protective fluid, and bulbourethral gland lubricate the penis during intercourse. And this glands make semen supportive for sperm survival and mobility. So a sperm usually has a head and a tail, and it moves with the help of the head. Okay, so that also helps in the survival of sperm. Now, female ovary system or female system overview. So what are its basic function? Produces egg, supports pregnancy, and the female system is designed for egg release, fertilization, and also nurturing a baby. But let me tell you a quick fact here. When a female is born, she already carries all the egg she has for a lifetime. Okay, so as she grows and mature and as she hits puberty, during each of those periods one of these eggs gets lost, if not conceived, if not produced, if in that cases it just get lost in the form of period or menstrual cycle. So this is the common structure of a female reproductive system. Look at this. These tubes are called as fallopian tube. This is the uterus, and here we have endometrium. Now endometrium is the material which actually sheds if a egg is not conceived. This is the ovary where the ova are produced, and through this pathway it reaches the uterus, fixes itself over here in the endometrium lining of uterus. Cervix is the area through which any kind of sperm enters. You can see the urinary bladder behind and the rectum behind also. Now this is the vaginal opening through which a woman or any woman urinate or have intercourse. We have the labia area also, and this whole small tunnel is called as vagina. Okay. So, what are the functions of ovaries? It releases ova or the egg, secrete estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone are female hormones and are the source of eggs and key hormones. So, estrogen and progesterone play very important role. Estrogen helps in bone health. A good flow of estrogen helps in mood stabilization. Progesterone also helps along with mm, all the endocrine glands secreted from pituitary hormones. Now let's come to fallopian tube. So what is the site of fertilization? It transports egg to the uterus. Fertilization usually happens here. The egg then travels to the uterus. So are you getting? Once the sperm enters after intercourse, the fertilization process usually happens in the fallopian tubes. So uterus, what is the function of uterus? First of all, it nurtures embryo. If suppose an embryo is born or a woman conceives, so the main function of uterus is to nurture the embryo. In the first stage we call it embryo, then when after reaching at a certain developmental level we call it fetus. So it contracts during childbirth, and the uterus is the cradle for life. It actually carries the baby for a whole period of 9 months, which is called as gestation period or the period of uh, having pregnancy. Till the baby is born, his organs are formed, his or her organs are formed. The uterus actually nurtures the baby or the embryo or the feature. Now what is the vagina? Vagina can be called as the birth canal also, and it also helps in receiving the sperm. It's the passage for intercourse, childbirth, and yes, whenever a woman or a girl hits puberty at the age of 13, maybe 11 nowadays, due to many significant environmental changes, so vagina is the pathway through which menstrual flow also happens. Now hormones. Let's come to the male hormones. Those are testosterone. They helps in development of male traits such as growth of hair, deep voices, feeling of separation from females. They begin to understand, okay, this is a female, or what traits should he have. Libido is nothing but the the ejaculation of sperm in natural ways, or using just it's a process of their natural sexual way of expression. Luteinizing hormone and also follicular stimulating hormone, they regulate sperm production, and these hormones drive physical changes and fertility. Okay, so these are the male hormones. Now let's come to female hormones and menstrual cycle with puberty changes. So first is estrogen, very important, helps in building uterine lining. Then we have progesterone, maintains pregnancy. If your progesterone level is low, or it's too much high, then you might have a difficulty with for maintaining pregnancy. These hormones regulate cycles and prepare the body for the pregnancy. So we have certain stages in female which happens in a period of 28 days, that is follicular, ovulation, luteal and menstrual. And hormone fluctuation usually happens. So a woman might get mood swings around, like she might feel down some days, she might feel very social some days. So she is usually very social during an ovulation period, and she is very tired because her hormones are shedding the uterine lining, that is endometrium, so that she can have her periods if not conceived. So a monthly rhythm that prepares the body for possible pregnancy, which usually does not happen too much. Okay, but a girl can naturally masturbate in a very natural way. Growth spurts in voice, as I usually told, it deepens, the voice deepens, and in girl menstruation starts, their voice gets trills, they might understand the difference of female and male. And emotional changes, yes, as we know that adolescence is the age of storm for children, even for parents, they tend to shut off peer pressure, friendship, friend groups. So these are all triggered by, or substance abuse are triggered by sometimes hormonal trigger, physical and emotional development. Yes, because they are not adult but they are trying to be adult. So that's where the friction actually happens due to the hormones both in male and female counterparts. So, hormonal imbalance. First of all, in female, it happens in the form of irregular periods. You might have too much heavy flow, too less flow, mood swings, tiredness, and in elder women, it happens when the hormones are off balance. Health and reproduction, as well as fertility, are affected. Now, I would also like to add a little bit about PCOS or PMOS, that is polymetabolic syndrome or polycystic metabolic syndrome. Now, PCOS has been named as PMOS because it affects many conditions in women such as insulin resistance. Okay, it put effects on liver. It overall creates a huge havoc in hormonal imbalance. So this is a very and endometriosis, which has been found to happen in male counterpart also. Kindly, the next two things, PMOS and endometriosis, I will cover in the next slides, upcoming slides or upcoming different slide. And let's focus on the male counterpart. Even they have an issue called as erectile dysfunction. So, sorry for the spelling mistake. It should be Y. So, they have difficulty achieving erection. So, common treatable condition, and ED is widespread and it's really not a taboo. You must have seen people, not boys or females, counterparts feeling that okay, fine, they are not able to satisfy their partners. So, that basically happens due to erectile dysfunctions. So the effects of hormonal imbalance, look at this. Symptoms can be irregular periods, mood swings, low libido both in male and female, constant fatigue, weight gain or weight loss or difficulty losing weight, vaginal opening, you can kind of develop a painful pathway of development in vaginal opening. There is pain during intercourse or labia, and the consequences can be infertility issues, increased stress, bone health problems, because as a woman age and her estrogen drops, her bone becomes her bones become brittle. Hip, usually older women have problem with their hip gets broken or they have UTI. So these are all because estrogen is absent after menopause. Now before I move from here, in females we have three periods, that is rather than two periods, menarche when the period starts, and menopause when at after 45 or at after 50 the period completely stops, leading to the lack of estrogen or low amount of estrogen, vaginal dryness. All this happens during menopause. In menarche the period starts after a certain age, puberty age. So these are all the different aspects of menstrual cycle in a woman. So what are the causes? We have seen the symptoms and the effects. Let's go into the causes. Physical causes can be diabetes, heart disease. Psychological can be, yes, stress and anxiety play a major role. Lifestyle can be smoking, alcohol. If you're having substance abuse in any form, it affects both the female and the male counterparts. Remember, the female only has the egg, but the other counterparts come from the sperm of the male. so he also should have a good lifestyle. That's how you maintain a good footprint for the upcoming offspring. So ED or erectile dysfunction can stem from health problems, mental health, or lifestyle. Now, what are the effects? Obviously, there will be an emotional distress because you are with a partner, you are not able to perform on that, and the woman is not able to deal with the having a child. So there is emotional distress. Relationship strain. It usually happens when uh, a person is not able to satisfy the other. So there is a relationship strain because the sexual act or in the intercourse between two people releases oxytocin and male pleasure in both the oxytocin in female, which gives a happy feeling, and the male counterparts. In male counterparts, the hormones work a little differently. We will come to it in further slides. So, masturbation. What are the myths and facts? It's a self-stimulation of genitals. You can do it by yourself. Okay. And it's very normal sexual behavior and is natural and common across all ages. I have written this in different time, same thing in different because this goes for the male also and for the female also. There's nothing wrong to have the masturbation yourself. Okay, so these are some of the myths and facts. Causes blindness, it is a myth. No, it does not affect vision. Leads to infertility? No, it actually has no impact on fertility. Makes you weak? Very no. Safe form of stress relief. Only for the lonely? No. Even people who are in relationship have their own time and space. So it is common and a natural behavior. So understanding and talking about your body is very healthy and normal. What about the patriarchal society? Patriarchal means a society which is ruled by the male counterparts. Example can be the Asian countries or the India is the best example. It has impact on sexual health also, and cultural myths are also there. So stigma around dysfunctions, erectile dysfunction. So, rather than going to a urologist or sexuologist to treat or understand the cause, or going to a mental health expert, ki what is causing it, we usually tend to avoid the topic. And female sexuality is totally shamed that, or just dropped off because she should not be having fun herself. That is again very wrong. When I say fun, it means with her own self, exploring her own sexuality. Now, patriarchal norms usually discourage open discussion of sexual health. This is very wrong because if you don't tell your female counterparts what is their health, if you don't tell the male counterparts what is and how things work, they will understand things from the negative sides. That will be more dangerous rather than having a straight open talk with the teachers, with the parents, or with the elders. Cultural myths, shame and misinformation, yes, from the wrong sources. They go to watch porn, which is again wrong, which is again just made for fun or just created like a film, which is very wrong. They have unrealistic approach towards all this. Lack of education because we don't discuss all of these things, don't connect all of these things in a biology class openly. We don't circulate the student around all of this, so because of this, silence and stigma also persist. So let's look at this data. Only 35% understand ED causes. That is, 35% is quite a low number, and 40% actually benefits from healthy sexuality. So this is a very important graph for you can say an understanding that only 35% are understanding what is the real cause of ED. That means they are asking for help from the doctors or from the knowledgeable people. They are openly talking about it. 40% are talking or actually treating their sexuality in a healthy way. 80% erectile dysfunction is shameful. That means 80% people think that erectile dysfunction is because you have weakness rather than treating the cause. 65% people think that masturbation is wrong. Again, look at this graph and you will understand what is what. So we should as a generation try to break the stigma. promote awareness about female sexuality, male sexuality, rather than incel culture. There is no domination or domination, or you should be down, top, bottom. Rather than explain it openly how it actually works in a dialogue way, in a way the student can understand, especially from the age of 13 to 20. They should know how to behave, how to understand their own body, and how to talk about this with the opposite gender without getting into the negative side. Encourage open dialogue. Yes, we should definitely encourage open dialogue, because it is very important. Normalize sexual health education. Don't just skip the content in the book. Have a discussion in the class if required. Show them, make them understand in a respectful manner. I'm not saying to go in a very discreet way, this very direct way. Rather go in a discreet way, because the use of condoms or the birth control pills, or what is PMOS, or how does erectile dysfunction works, how can you safely release things or safely understand or have a relationship in a safe way without getting scrutinized or stigmatized. This is a very common talk that the parent and the children and their counterparts, the teachers, everyone should actually have. Even the doctor should also inform the patient that this is this. So, a very much thank you for bearing or understanding the topic. I do hope that you liked the video, and if you have any concerns, kindly please write in the comment. And if you liked the content, kindly like and subscribe. Thank you so much.